Hello everybody, welcome to ERL here for the Singapore Grand Prix here in the F1 tier. Is this Michael's day at last? It's looking pretty likely for him. We'll go through the permutation later on, but anyway, I'm the commentator Omar, and with me got Austin.
Yes, welcome everyone to the Singapore Grand Prix here at the European Racing League. It is a very interesting circuit for those of you that don't know all the details. It is a just over 5 kilometer long track, so rather short in the grand scheme of things. We are running over 30 laps here, 31 in fact. However, it does have 23 corners, most of them rather slow, which is going to make for the longest race on the F1 calendar, with or without safety car, most likely, because Singapore also known, obviously, for its many safety cars that have happened, that have come out and gone back in over the years. It doesn't seem too likely that we will see a safety car here, though, even though Codemasters have increased the possibility of a safety car. I think a couple of months ago, I think it was 1 or 2 months ago that they've increased it, but it still doesn't seem too likely. However, maybe we will see. I think the first safety car of the season, we didn't have one yet, did we?
We had one at the very first round of the season. I don't know if we've had one since then.
I don't think so. I don't even remember that one.
I don't think you were there for that one. I think that was just me there that day.
That could be it, yeah. That could be it. However, yeah, 23 corners, not a lot of speed. Generally, the drivers opt to go for much more front and rear wing, and as so often, and Owen, I know you don't like it, we are running here with 3 tire compounds that are not adjacent. We have another compound that is being skipped. Once again, the poor super soft. It doesn't get any love this season, apparently. We've skipped it about 5 or 6 times now.
Yeah.
So we are running here with the ultra soft as the softest tire by quite a margin.
Hyper.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. We're sorry. Yes. The hyper soft, then the ultra soft. Those are the 2 soft compounds, and then we're skipping the super soft. I don't know why, but we're going straight to the hardest compound of the day, which is the soft.
Yes.
So we are having 2 compounds that are very, very soft, and then one that is, I would say, an exclusive race tire. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't exactly disagree with me on that.
Well, I think today it could well be actually a 2-stop race, because the way the tyre temperatures work on this game, on this track in particular, it makes the hypersofts absolutely totally useless around here. The ultra softs nearly useless around here, and the softs aren't too great either. The tyre temperatures go through the roof in about 5 laps here, so it just is a nightmare. Like, you can barely even get a quali lap in on the hypers. It's just horrendous, the whole situation here. So yeah, I don't really know what we're going to see today in terms of actual pit stop strategy, or just how the tires actually behave in race.
Well, I can tell you what we might see. We might see, I mean, it is very likely, the crowning of a champion, because VGIA Michael looks very, very poised to win the championship here at Singapore. The current standings are as follows. VGIA Michael leads in the championship with 280 points. Second place, CSR Leon, 108. I did not misspeak there. If you think that is a huge gap, yes, it is. From 280 to 108. So Michael leads the way by 172 points. Now, the question you as the viewer might be asking is, how is he not champion already? Well, practically he is. He probably could just retire now and not race a single race until the end of the season, and he would most likely still become champion in his own absence. However, mathematically, there is still a chance. But Michael will be crowned champion today if either he finishes 8th or better, or if CSR Leon does not win. The only way for Leon to keep the championship, well, I don't even want to say open, to leave himself a theoretical chance, is if he wins and Michael finishes outside the top 8. That is the only way the championship will remain open, at least on a theoretical basis.
Just wondering where Leon is. I'm seeing there's a Leon in a Renault. I thought it was a Mercedes, was it not? See Sizzle's in that Mercedes today. Don't know if we have 2 Leons, but I don't know. Just someone I'm noticing there.
Well, we have AZR Leon.
Yeah.
But he seems to be in the wrong car.
I don't know. I don't even know there.
That is an interesting development.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask in our chat.
Yeah, it's Kazizzle in the Mercedes with Lakitu, and Leon in the Renault. What happened there?
Well, we'll see.
What happened to the other Renault of who was in the other Renault?
I don't know.
See, I don't. Hold on.
Ugh.
So we have Ilar Shadow in one of the Renaults, and the other is Yeet. Normally,
yeah,
he's not here, is he?
Oh no.
So, seems like Leon, instead of filling his own car, has decided to jump into the car of his teammate AZR Yeet.
I don't know. That's
that is interesting.
Maybe that's his new tactic to win. Either way, as you said, Michael only needs P8 anyway today, so I don't think it really matters where Leon is and what he's doing, because Michael, his lowest actual finish has been, what, 4th?
His lowest actual finish was 4th, indeed, in Bahrain. Every other time he was either 1st, 10 out of the 11 other races he started, other than Bahrain, and a 2nd place in China, where he got beaten by Alper.
Yeah. So, he should have a pretty easy time right there, unless he gets taken out. Well.
Yes, but look, I'm gonna come at you with the statistics now. It depends on where we put Azerbaijan on the map, if it's considered Europe or Asia.
Well, it was
I know,
literally called...
Where are we gonna put it?
It was literally called the European Grand Prix at its first appearance, so I think we can call
Okay,
it
so we put it to Europe. We'll put it to Europe. So that means that we had so far this season 2 races in Asia, and Michael won neither of them.
Yeah, good.
I'm just saying, you know, this might be the craziest stat you'll hear all day, considering that Michael has won 10 out of the 12 races he started, but both races he didn't win were on the Asian continent. Bahrain, 4th place, China, 2nd, so he's still looking to get his first win on the Asian continent this season.
That bodes well for the rest of them, doesn't it?
I mean, he only needs P8, so it's not that hard, actually. But I have to say, Michael did win on the Asian continent last year. And not just 1 race, but 2, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix last season, and the Chinese Grand Prix as well. But yeah, this season so far, no luck. When he's out in the East, it seems. Maybe he can put that behind him today, but it is a very, very, let's say, interesting track. A track that makes for a lot of incidents, let's say. Crashes, maybe. Safety cars. Strategies. Everything is different here. Tire temperatures, you mentioned them. They can flip this whole thing around. They can put someone into a winning position who wouldn't have any chance otherwise.
I think I remember Michael in China was taken out on lap 1. This is another track where that can happen. And, yeah, you said about tire strategy. I don't know if they could take Sauce to the end, that's the issue. Other tracks you could, but I don't really know if there's any way you could be put into a good position.
Honestly, I have no idea what the strategies are going to look like this time because you mentioned it. The tires are very hard to keep at a working temperature and not too hot. So I think it's going to be very, very different for each driver. I think we'll see a lot of soft runners most of the time. Maybe someone who's capable of keeping the tires temperature rather low will decide to use more of the hyper and the ultra soft, but I don't see that happen all too often throughout the field. Plus, the speed limit in the pit lane here is a little lower than it is on most tracks. It is, I think, just like it is in Monaco, it's 60 instead of 80 kilometers an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So, that also comes into play here. So the drivers are even slower in the pit lane, which means a pit stop costs you more time. However, on the other hand, the pit lane is rather short in and of itself, and the pit straight literally starts at the beginning of the pit lane and ends pretty much at the end of the pit lane. So it's not like in Spain where if you exit the pit lane you still have like half the straight in front of you, or like in Azerbaijan where you have the beginning of the straight in the front. Here the pit lane begins on the pit straight and it ends at the end of the pit straight, so it really doesn't cost you too much time, and that might actually help the drivers here. But again, pit limit is rather low with only 60 kilometers an hour instead of 80.
I mean, on the exit as well in real F1, you can see people come together, can't you? I think what was it, Hulkenberg 2015?
Not just in real
death.
F1. Yeah, not just in real F1. I can see that happen here today as well. This is a very, very spicy pit exit that can definitely see two drivers come together and collide. At the very least, bang wheels, if not worse. Meanwhile, by the way, we haven't even talked about that. Matt has retired from the session without setting a single lap time, so he's going to start all the way from the back. I don't know if he got a penalty for the last race or something, or if he just messed up.
I don't think he's a fan of this track. I think he's one of the people in the chat I was telling you before the stream started. He wasn't really looking forward to this at all, and maybe he feels he's just safer at the back. I don't really know, but
I mean,
his choice.
He was in the chat saying two things that I saw at the very least. One thing that he said was, "I love this track, it's so good," which reeks of sarcasm.
Yep. Yep.
And he also said he needs a new pad. It keeps having a spasm through the corners.
Pad?
Yeah.
Well, if it's on a pad, then I don't blame him for starting at the back. A lot of these guys are on wheels, and that is a major advantage over Matt. Because on a pad, you may as well not even take part. To be brutally honest with you.
Yeah, it is. To explain, to go a little bit into detail here, it is a lot harder to keep the tire temperatures low on a pad than it is on a wheel. It's almost impossible.
It's
yes,
actually just impossible.
No, it's not impossible. The funny thing is, I managed to do it. Then again, I'm very slow, so maybe that's why.
I don't know.
But I mean, I competed in the F3. I was nowhere near fast enough for the F1 here. I competed in the F3 at the start of the season before retiring after the Monaco Grand Prix. But I think it is possible on a pad. You just need to drive very, very carefully. You need to. The thing is, with the analog stick, if you put it all the way to the right, all the way to the left, full lock, yeah, your tire temperatures are gonna go all the way into the sky. You have to drive very carefully. You can basically you can never use full lock on a pad, and then you might be able to pull it off.
But that is such a major disadvantage.
No, it is not. It is not, because hold on. There is a sweet spot where you're not full lock, but you still get full steering. You need to find that, and the worst thing is you need to find that every time. And the major disadvantage, as you said, that does come in, I wouldn't say major, but obviously a disadvantage on the pad, is that the precision needs to be much higher, because on a wheel you can pretty much adjust whether you want 85-degree angle, 90-degree, 80, whatever. Like you can do it like on a millimeter basis. If you're 1 millimeter off on an analog stick, that's like 5 degrees of steering angle. So you don't really have that much lenience there, and so you need to be very, very precise on a stick, compared to, or on a pad with the analog stick, compared to the wheel, where you have a lot more, you have bigger dimensions basically. But the qualifying session does come closer to an end, the last 10 seconds, if someone makes it across the line now, as Lakitu does, and then he retires from the session. I don't know what that was about, but sure.
Well, look at this actually. Leon, he's out there in hypers. Leon's out there in hypers, right? Do you think he's going to set a time? He's currently on pole. Michael is in that all-important 9th place that Leon would need. If it finishes like this, say this is the final race order, the championship wouldn't be decided yet. So that's quite interesting to see Michael all the way down there.
Yeah, indeed. Oh my! We see an interesting development here. That is a very, very good point.
But Leon,
what I wanted to say is Joglar. Joglar just made it across the finish line with, I think, 1 second left, and so he will be the last one to set a lap time. Most likely he runs up to a Williams now, overtakes a medium pilot. Wow. Leon comes back at him.
I don't know, that's a good idea.
33.9.
He's just qualified in the hypers. I thought he would have backed off.
No.
Wow.
No. The thing is, Leon qualified on the hype. His last lap time before that was on the hypers as well.
Michael into the pits. He's currently in P11. He's going to get his fresh tire choice.
Free tire choice.
So that could be very interesting. All up there is
soft to ultra. I'm calling it right now. Soft to ultra. I don't know if that's actually happening, but the thing is, this track is about as hard to overtake on as Hungary. It's just that the walls are closer again. But if you remember back in Hungary, yeah, it's hard to overtake here, as Joglar is the final one to make it across the finish line, and he qualifies in 6th on the Ultra Softs. So these are the results. This is the grid for the race. In just a second. It's loading. Come on, guys. There we go. All right, so AZR Leon, the only one who still has a chance of winning the title other than Michael, is on pole position where he needs to be. Medium pilot 2nd place, then TTG Ollie, VSF Francis. Everyone inside the top 10 except for Leon on the Ultra Softs. Leon, the only one on the hypers. Francis, then Janel 5th, Jogla 6, Zach 7, Shadow 8, Technique 9, Kazizzle 10, and then we go to the free tire choice. Tom Killer 11, Michael down in 12. That's not where you want to be on the start. Alper 13, Tao, Jake Attacks, Matt, and then we go down to, I think, who was that there? Down in 17th and below.
I don't remember.
We'll have to wait and see for that. I think Matt is last, as he said he binned it. So his first run, not even, I think he didn't even start.
Didn't get to the start.
Yeah, he didn't even start a lap time and already binned it on the outlap apparently. But hey, maybe that can be a blessing in disguise on this track, considering, you know, safety cars, crashes, turn 1. I think that might actually be a blessing in disguise.
I don't know. I just have to wait and see how they all get on in the first lap, because this is just one of them first laps, isn't it, where it could all go wrong. I don't know. Michael in 12th, that is quite a dangerous position to be in. He's near enough the middle of the grid. That is where all the action always seems to be happening. He seriously has to do some job to avoid any incidents, because I think that's ultras on his car as well, if I'm looking there. It is. So why didn't he just qualify in the top 10 then? Did he just have invalid laps or something? Did he actually make some mistakes for once in his life?
Apparently, according to Matt, Michael got blocked on his hot lap.
Ah, right.
So that might be why.
So I thought Michael was
might be the
doing
reason
that
of just
deliberately,
that out
to be
there.
honest. I thought he was doing that deliberately, but no, that seems to actually be a genuine issue then for Michael. Down there in 12th.
Look, basically, the way the race works here is, or the way turns 1 to 3 work here at Singapore. For the start, you either want to be inside the top 5 or inside the bottom 5. That's, in the middle is not where you want to be, and so Michael putting himself in 12th, yeah, he does get free tire choice, but most drivers, look at this, most drivers on the Ultras, we only have Alper, Tao, and Jake on the softs, and of course Leon, who has no choice, to go on the Hypers. So it might be, though, that a lot of drivers decide to get the Ultra out of the way early, then go into the pits for the softs, and then go into the pits for the softs again. That could be a viable strategy here. Maybe they will try to go for a one stop. I personally doubt it, though. Maybe if someone on a wheel has found a secret to low tire temperatures, then they will go on a one-stop, but I think the two-stop might actually be a viable strategy here for once.
Well, Leon's probably going to have to do that two-stop, isn't he? So we'll have to see how that will work out for him. He has to get away well. He has to get away well. He has to be leading this at the end of lap 1, or else his race is ruined, I think, Leon.
Pretty much, and then he has to hold everyone behind him up until maybe the... I think what Leon might be hoping for is a safety car in lap 1. That there's a lap 1 incident, maybe turn 1, 2, 3, maybe a bit later in the lap, and there's a safety car. He can come into the pits, doesn't lose much time, can go onto the softs for the first time, can save them a little bit, and then comes into the pits for a second set of softs. That, I think, that is what he's going for, what he's hoping for, but as likely as a safety car is in Singapore, it can also not happen. It's still a bet, and you might lose that bet.
So they're all lining up on the grid now. Michael heads into his grid slot. Is this going to be his day? Under the lights here at Singapore, we're just waiting for Cliffy there to line up on the back of the grid, and he has done now. We've got 31 laps ahead of us here at Singapore. It's the longest race of the season. Leon on pole, exactly where he needs to be. And they're away. Looks like a decent start from Leon as well from Medium Pilot. They'll have a chance to turn 1 behind, going 4 or 5 abreast there, look. And somehow all getting out okay. No major dramas so far. Leon's still leading away from Ollie now in second place, and Medium Pilot in general. The two Toro Rossos in 3rd and 4th. We've still got some moves happening further behind with Lakitu falling right down. Wonder what's happened to him. Right down there in last place now. Along with Technical Gaming and Jagetex also have fallen down there in the start. But it is Leon who got the start he needed. Michael up into 9th. He just needs one more place to get into championship position. And that one man is his teammate. So it shouldn't be too hard. As he's going for actually Juggler on Kazizzle up into P7. We've got more yellow flags out there. And Jaketex is out of the race. Oh,
yes,
wow,
and I'm keeping an eye. What?
Juggler nearly into the wall there. He just about got away with it. And side by side as well in the background, we got Matt right on the outside of Jake. Not going to happen there. He's got them on the inside now as well. And they're really going for it.
I'm keeping an eye right now. I'm keeping an eye right now on VGA Michael, seeing what he's doing, whether he's involved in any incidents. Leon, look at him pull away over a second already to TTG Ollie in second place. So it is going well for him for now, but we are going to keep an eye on that gap. Meanwhile, Michael in 8th, which is where he needs to be. He is making some good progress, already 4 positions from the start, but he is not the winner of the start. I think that is Matt, who gained 6 positions, as well as Speedster, who also gained 6.
Oh.
Very, very strong performance from these two on the first lap.
tie into the wall. I don't know his controller or his wheel DC, but he just went off the throttle and just went straight on that final corner. And he's into the wall. Then out of the race goes Ty.
Good thing this is all virtual, so there's no actual harm being done to the driver here. Because otherwise, the way you described it, the car is just completely not reacting anymore. That's a scary situation, and that could leave a driver in reality, well, pretty much hurt.
Well, luckily it was a slow speed, but even still, I don't know what happened there. He just randomly started to fall down the grid and then just didn't turn.
Jogler's running wide, and Michael is seizing the position from his teammate there. That was in the Singapore sling. So that was very interesting here. Michael now up into 7th. Very opportunistic from Michael. Decides, hey, he makes a mistake. I'll slip through, get the position, P7, and hopefully my teammate doesn't go extra aggressive on me. As Kazizel already got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings on lap 2.
That bodes
well. I am not making this up. That is early.
That does bode well, doesn't it, for the rest of the race anyway? Qualification.
Yeah, but this is, I have to say, this is a track where it is very easy to come by some penalties, and they will definitely have an influence on the final result of this race. As the DRS is finally enabled, so the drivers will get DRS for the first time on the back straight on the Raffles Boulevard, which TTG Ollie heads onto right now, and he is within, oh no, Medium Pilot is within DRS range, Ollie is not. But it's not even close enough for an overtake.
Big DRS train all the way down to Jogler, died in 8th place, that's from 2nd backwards, and also a second DRS train from Jake all the way down to Lakitu. So we've got 2 main sort of groups of people battling, so that'll be interesting to see how it all develops throughout the race.
Yeah, but they will split up soon enough, I can tell you that. We will see some more groups. It's all going to be all over the place. Michael, meanwhile, is trying to maybe make up a move on Zach somewhere. He's getting close out of the Anderson Bridge into turn 13, but not there yet. Not there yet, but he sees a train in front of him. Zach, Francis, and Janu right in front of him. You can see all 3 of them every corner of the race.
It's a lot
every corner of the track. The other two, Medium Pilot and Ollie, are a little further away, but that is not where you want to be stuck. I mean, 3 cars in front of you. 2 of them get DRS, and you can't overtake here anyway. As Leon goes into the pits already, lap 3. I mean, it's the Hypersofts.
I know, but lap
we talked about this.
I was getting more like lap 5 or 6, and that is soft compound tires. So do you think it can go to the end then? Which is going to have to be ultras later on, or maybe even numbers of the hypers.
I don't think he's gonna go to the end on these softs. I think he's gonna have another set of softs that he didn't even touch during the qualifying. I hope at least that he decided to go onto the harder tire distribution, because if he didn't, he made a serious mistake, and he only does have 1 set of softs in this case, and so he's going to have to make ultra softs work somehow. But that's why you go onto the harder tire distribution for this race, because you have 2 sets of softs. I don't know if he even did that, but yeah, that might be an issue for him then.
I guess we'll find out later on, but look at Medium Pilot. By the way, Clippy as well has been having a few battles along with Technic Gaming, Tom Killer. Oh dear, now Tom Killer's out of race, is he? He's into the wall. So they've all been fighting really hard in that bottom group, and there's been a crash now on it, and Clippy's still going for it. But the top 2 as well really close, so I'll keep an eye on them, but these guys are really going for it towards the back of the field. We've got round the outside going Cliffy on Technic Gaming, and then you've got Lakitu just trying to find some way to get through all this. Ahead as well, Kazizel and Matt were going for it as well. And into the wall went Matt there. He got a little bit too close there, and they're all still super close, these guys.
Yeah, and speaking of super close, Michael now with an attack out of the final corners, and he overtakes Zach in a very, very unusual position.
Oh dear.
Well done from him, and he moves up into 5th place now. That was an incredible job right there. I did not expect him to do that, but Zach went a little wide, had to lift off. Now he banged the wall as well out of turn 5.
Medium pilot for the lead.
Bangs into the wall.
Doesn't
He
quite
might
go
have some
for it.
front wing damage on the left side of the car. I think it's looking good. I need a closer shot than this, but oh, there we go. Yeah, I think the end plate is still on, so it's looking actually. Oh, I can't tell. I can't tell. Maybe it is a little bit too dark, considering that we're driving here at nighttime. But it's hard to tell. Maybe this shot. That's looking good. The end plate seems to be still on, fully intact. So, yeah, no damage. That was fortunate for him because that was a huge impact, but no damage. And Michael still behind 2 of these cars in this train, Francis and Janel, and both of them are now catching up with the other guys in front. That is Medium Pilot and TTG Ollie. So we've got a big train of 7 cars here, all the way down to Joglar.
So what you said about
Michael
Zach
trying to
having
put
damage,
Francis. Hold on, Michael trying to put Francis under pressure, goes to the inside in turn 1, is side by side with him, and he squeezes them out, gets the position. Michael up in the 4th. I don't know how he does it. This track is, as I said before, as hard to overtake on as Hungary, maybe even harder. And still, Michael just marches through the field. It is unbelievable. Now, Jano and Medium Pilot, the teammates fighting into turn 7.
Oh, rear press.
And Michael had to back out there. Michael had to back out there. Otherwise, Jano would have squeezed him into the wall, because Medium Pilot was almost squeezed by. Medium Pilot had almost. My goodness, this is exciting. Had almost squeezed Janul into the wall himself.
Oh, wow!
And now the overtake. How opportunistic from Michael. Maybe a bit too opportunistic. They're side by side. Here, Michael trying it around the outside of turn 13, but he does get on the throttle later. That must have been a little bit of a shock here for Janul. And he tries to brake to the inside. That was a bit forceful, but he still doesn't get the position, and they're losing quite a bit of time. And he tries it again down the inside. Now the outside for the left-hander, and he needs to let him go again, because otherwise the wall would have come way too close for Michael here. And he wants to play it safe, obviously. The last thing he needs is a DNF. Yeah, the last thing Michael needs is a DNF if Leon is actually able to pull off the 2-stop here and get the win. We don't know whether he's able to do that, but right now he's looking pretty strong. He's he already gained 4 seconds on the leaders, on Ollie and Medium Pilot, since he came out of the pits, and he's gaining more. And that was just 4 laps.
Cliffy,
that was 4 laps.
Cliffy and Technic Gaming are pit a bit early on their mulchers, so we'll see what they do on their strategy. I think, had you said about Zach having damage, yeah? So I was looking at his car, he does have his front left end plates gone.
It still shows for me.
No, I was comparing with his teammate, because I wasn't sure myself, but no, it is gone. If you compare it to his teammate's car. I think Joglar as well, he hit the wall, but his end plate, I think it would have been the right hand side, so I don't know if that's damaged or not.
Teammate is Cliffy.
Yeah.
Let's see. I wanna compare that as well. I mean, to me that looks absolutely the same, but yeah, maybe it's
camera angles.
Maybe it's camera angles. Maybe it's just an error. Maybe the game didn't register for me the way it did for you. I don't know. But if you say he has damage, then he probably has damage. And you can see he's still in that train, but you can see that Shadow has caught up now.
Yeah.
To that train, so you know, maybe it's not hard to stay in that train, even with a little bit of damage. I mean, it's only the end plate, and he goes into the pits now, so that is, in fact, early. And he goes a little bit too deep. He might have gotten a warning there. But he's in the pits now. He's not the only one. Medium pilot as well. So one Toro Rosso and one Red Bull. Both Austrian-owned teams in the pits now for some busy action there. Both go on the softs. That tells me that I think Janul...
Oh, wow!
Janul and Michael almost collide there. That was a very, very dangerous situation there on Raffles Boulevard in turn 6. My goodness, and Janul and Michael are still fighting, but now Janul has to let him go. And
Medium
Michael's gonna hunt
there.
after Ollie now.
Medium pilot sort of ruined his teammate's chance there, staying ahead of Michael by just sort of eliminating a DRS that Janel would have got off his team. And so actually, in effect there, Medium pilot sort of screwed his own teammate over a little bit.
It seems like, but maybe Janel doesn't care too much because he's going into the pits anyway.
Well, so's Michael. They're on the same strategy.
How do you know?
Well, they're on the same tires at the moment. They'll be pitting at the same time at the start anyway. Surely they'll all be on the same strategy. That top 7, and then, you know, other 2 were on ultras. By the way, look at Jake. He's on the inside, trying to get past. And this is not a corner you really see that much overtaking on, but he's done it. And Joe Glar, I think, was almost into the wall again. Is sliding a bit more. He's really sliding. His tires. Oh, and Francis as well. They're all sliding. It's like an ice rink out here.
Yeah.
And Jake has managed to get himself to 4th.
Double stack for Ferrari. Double stack for Ferrari as both Michael and Jogler come in. That's going to hurt Jogler, definitely. Ollie stays out, though. And
look at all this holding up. Michael's been held up by a lot there, man. He's lost out a lot. I think Jake hasn't quite gone, but Francis is also quite... Francis is stuck, look. Francis is stuck in his own pit box there. But Michael was certainly held a lot.
No, Francis is driving again.
The 2 Torossos are beating him out by a lot.
And Janel just got a penalty for, I think, driving over the white line on the pit exit. That was his 3rd warning.
So
counts as a track extension of sorts, and he already got 2 warnings, and that was the 3rd apparently. Or did the game wrongfully register a corner cut when he came out of the pits? In that case, he might be able to appeal it after the race and get the 3-second penalty removed if he doesn't get any more warnings. Or if he gets a multiple of 3 warnings, then he could get one of the penalties removed.
So let me just sort of see if you were out in there. I think what happened in the pits is Michael went in ahead, and then Jake, in all of the chaos that was going on, managed to get himself up ahead of Francis and Joglar just for pitting, and then they all pit, and Michael had to wait for Jake and Francis to get past. Meanwhile, further down the pit lane, Janel had to deal with none of that, and that is why he's currently 3 seconds now ahead of Michael, having been just overtaken moments before.
Yeah, by the way, Ollie now the leader in the pits for the McLaren team. And that means Alper on the softs that he started on has now taken the lead. However, he obviously still has to make a pit stop. And Speedster on the Ultra Soft still staying out in lap 10. So he's taken those a long way. He's going to go on a 1-stop, I reckon.
It must
At this point, there's no other explanation.
So Leon at the moment is 7 seconds ahead of Medium Pilot. So he has gained a huge amount of time on these tires. But is it gonna be enough when he pits again? If he has to pit again, unless he can stretch these to the end, which would be quite extraordinary. I don't think it really matters because Michael's in P7 anyway. But I mean, even just in terms of the win, is it still on?
I think it is still on. I mean, that is not what I expected. I expected him to be a lot closer to the rest of the pack, to Medium Pilot. TTG Ollie, by the way, look at that. He comes out of the pits behind Medium Pilot. So Medium Pilot apparently pulled a better strategy here on the softs. The softs seem to be the race tire to go for And so my thinking would be, well, these soft tires are gonna go down at some point. They are the fastest tire here easily after like 5 laps, 6, 7 laps on the ultra soft. Those are gone. But how long can you take these softs? And I think we're gonna see. We're gonna have to compare the gap between Leon and Medium Pilot for this, as Spizza goes into the pits now. He is the final ultra soft runner who started on these tires, who now made it into the pits. 10 whole laps. I reckon this is a one stop for him. He's gonna go on the softs and finish the race on those. And indeed, he does go on the softs, which is the only logical choice really in this race. So everyone except Matt, who is in last, in 15th, everyone else now on the soft compound tire, and Spizza rejoins as Matt has just retired from the race. As Spizza rejoins in last, so that was almost similar to the what was it? Was the Perez incident, wasn't it?
Didn't quite see it, but he's going to try and get past now anyway down Raffles Boulevard. So he needs to start making
and he does it.
Some time here, because I don't think he was expecting to be this far down.
I mean, it happens. But he's going to have to work his way up again. Everyone now with a pit stop, except for Alper. Alper, the only one who is still out on the tires he started on.
He'll be trying to one stop at this point, I imagine. Alper.
Oh, definitely.
So we'll see how he does. I mean, we think that 10 laps on the ultras is possible, so you'd imagine 21 is possible on the softs. You'd imagine. And then he'll just do 10 laps on the ultra at the end, or maybe less. Just he will be our indication, Alper, just to how far these tires will go.
Well, the other way he could do this is now coming into the pits at the end of this lap, lap 12, then at the end of lap 24, and then 7 laps on the ultras. That would be a 2-stop. But I think the 1-stop is what he would want to do now, because I mean, you're in the lead. Everyone else has already made the pit stop. You don't want to go into the pits twice now.
Michael getting past General then, so that 3-second gap didn't last very long, did it? Jordan was quickly
not really.
there, really.
But Michael still has Ollie, Medium Pilot, and Leon and Alper to over. Well, Alper is going to go into the pits, but he's still going to have 3 drivers to overtake if he wants his first win on the Asian continent this season.
Just looking at the gaps at the moment, just trying to see if there's any actual big movers as well. Like, obviously we got Jake out there. I don't know what he can do at the moment. I don't know how far he was down, but he just should have appeared in there out of nowhere, hadn't he? Because he was super behind all this, and then he gained off people being quite slidey on the end of the ultra soft stint. Yeah, I just don't know how he managed to end up in 7th again, because he was up in 4th, was he not? Don't know, we're still waiting to see the tire strategies work out, but I'm just wondering why he's down now. I don't know if I missed something. I know he had to pit, but...
Are you talking about Shadow?
Yeah.
No, Shadow was behind Francis and Zach, and he jumped both of them. He did a rather good job. He wasn't in 4th. No. We had Ollie in 1st. We had Medium Pilot in 2nd. We had Janel in 3rd. We had Francis, Zach, Michael all in there in a train. Jogla was in there as well. He lost a couple of positions down to 12th now because he got held up on the double stack in the pits. And Shadow was even behind Jogla. So he made up 3 positions on the pits, in the pit stops.
I was forgetting about Leon actually, because obviously Leon would have to pit later on, then that would put him up a little bit more. But I don't know, I just must have had a dirt moment there.
I mean, Leon still has a 6-second gap to Medium Pilot. That has not increased, but it also hasn't decreased. It stayed the same over the last couple of laps ever since Medium Pilot came out of the pits, so that is a good indicator for Leon that right now his tires are as competitive as medium pilots, even though they are 4 laps older, and even as competitive as Ollie's, which are 6 laps fresher than Leon's. So it's looking good for Leon for now, but if he has to make another pit stop, which again I reckon he has to, he's gonna have to gain a whole lot of time in that second stint, and those softs are durable, so the 14, I would say, considering, okay, he came into the pits at the end of lap 3, right?
Yeah, it was pretty early, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very, very early. So 28 laps, that means 14 laps per stint, so he has to do a 14 lap stint on the softs and then another one. Or he could decide to just use all 3 compounds and run these softs for about 20 laps and then go on to the ultras for the rest of the race. That would also work. And the ultras are going to give him quite a bit more speed, however they come with a bit of a disadvantage, obviously, that they fall off towards the end of the stint.
Look at this, Jano's
quite
under
heavily.
Real pressure. Just saying this, he's just lost 6 seconds, he's off the track, and he's sliding all over the place.
Yeah, and he's lost a position now to Shadow, and maybe he'll lose another one to Francis here as well, down the inside there where he goes. So yes, another position. And now Zach also lining up. Oh my, there's three drivers on one here, ganging up on him. 2 already passed, and there's a 4th one with Lakitu right behind as well, joining in on the fun. Oh my.
How has he got so slow? It's like that must be tire temps. Surely that can't be tire. It has to be though. 5 laps and the tire temps are that bad. Surely no.
He is missing the right end plate.
Oh,
that is what it is.
Right.
He is missing the right end plate on his front wing. The left one, the good thing about the end plate on the Toro Rosso is it's red, so it's really standing out. And you see nothing red on the right end plate. And he bangs into the wall and he loses even more of his right front wing. He loses even more. Oh my, he bangs into the wall again, but he's... Yeah, he keeps on going, but he has severe front wing damage on the right now.
He's dragging along the wall as well. I'm just saying that, he was dragging, like, riding along the wall. That will give him a puncture if he keeps doing that.
Indeed, indeed. He's running very, very rough here. Too rough for the car. Maybe too rough for himself as well.
Here's Michael, by the way.
On the left side, everything's still looking good, but on the right side, yeah, the end plate is gone, and then some winglets also seem to be gone by now. And on a high downforce track like this, that's the death sentence basically.
Michael is putting Ollie under a lot of pressure. He's doing what he was doing earlier. I think it was with the Toro Rossos, and he's looking absolutely everywhere to try and force his way past.
Yeah, that's what Michael does. He is very, very opportunistic when it comes to overtakes. He didn't have to showcase that a lot this season because he was running in first most of the time anyway. But when push comes to shove, when he really needs to show it,
oh dear,
yeah, he can be very opportunistic and make some overtakes happen where generally you wouldn't think that there was an overtake even on the cards.
So that is Speedster out of the race and leaving the session as a result. So, you know, we've already lost 6 cars. We've just passed the halfway point of this race. Yeah, it's quite extraordinary. Only halfway there. And we've already lost 6. So it's already been quite a atrocious race.
We're not even past the halfway.
Jano,
we're not even past the halfway point of the race. As lap 16 has just started a couple of seconds ago. We need to wait until the half lap is over. I don't know where exactly that is. Probably at the end of maybe on Anderson Bridge. Maybe out of the Singapore Sling. That could be where it is, but I don't know. So basically now we're pretty much past the halfway, or at the halfway point of the race, and already 6 drivers out. If we keep that going, we are finishing this with 7 drivers.
Tell you what,
Which
Michael.
means,
Look at this.
which means if Michael
Oh!
finishes, he's got the title.
Well, I mean, you're saying that, but he's pushing Ollie pretty hard. He nearly hit him there. And he is getting a little bit hot under the collar there. He's tried everything, and he cannot get past. And I was looking at Janel at the start of that as well. And he was so close. He was just piling into the wall in the final corner. So we're looking at that again at the end of this lap as he's under pressure enough from Joglar to fall out of the points. And yeah, I don't know what's happening to him. He wasn't driving this in the first stint. I wonder where he got the damage from originally.
Yeah, it seems like to me that Ollie is channeling his inner John O'Trolley here. Whatever he does, not let Michael get past.
The truly,
and Michael is channeling his.
Dear channel, big accident there, and he just turned in too early there.
Straight into the wall.
I think he turned in too early. It was a bad camera angle, but he'd already broken his car. I think when he'd hit before he hit that wall there. But yeah, we've lost another.
Can I just say, how is that not a safety car?
I know.
That is, he was pretty much on the. He wasn't on the racing line, but he was very close to it.
Dead as well, and here's Michael. Does he get it done this time? I don't know. It'll be difficult around the outside. Ollie's still there, but surely not on the inside. Michael gets it done up to P4.
Yeah. Squeezes him out a little bit, doesn't give him any room, and Ollie has to back out, and Michael gets the position. Great overtaking. Michael just showing that you can pretty much overtake at any corner if you're just opportunistic enough and you have the speed. I mean, look, not many people have the speed of a VJ, Michael, but I mean, if you do, you can overtake anywhere.
Well,
you just need to prepare it right, and when the moment arises, you need to be decisive.
Well, he's now just 2 seconds away from what might well be the net lead of this race, and that'd be quite a fitting way to take the title, wouldn't it? With a win.
I wouldn't be so sure about net lead of the race, but I'm gonna tell you this right now: Leon has gained 5 seconds over the last couple of laps on Alper, and he's gained 1.5 seconds on medium pilot. So he, even though he's on the second oldest tires in the whole, on the whole track, in the whole race, he's gained on medium pilot 1.5 seconds. That is incredible. And these 1.5 seconds might be the 1.5 seconds now, almost up to 2 seconds, that might see him through, that give him an advantage ultimately when he comes into the pits for the second time. Maybe he doesn't even come into the pits, actually. Well, because he would have to come in now. Lap 14, or 14 laps on, he would have to come in. I mean, generally he would have to come in at the end of last lap, not this lap. Well, last lap he would have had to come in.
He'll be looking for the ultras. He'll be looking to go another 3 or 4 laps and then pit possibly and go on.
Okay, that might be the case. That might be the case, but maybe he'll take those to the end. I mean, 28 laps, gonna be a challenge, but I don't see why Leon couldn't do it. I mean, he's still gaining time. That is incredible. Maybe he's hoping for a safety car, though.
So Michael
Cliffy also out. Oh my, we're down to 11.
Michael then, he can see his target ahead of him. Medium pilot for what at the moment will be the net leader of the race. At the end of the race, who knows who's going to be at the front. But certainly Michael's going to be putting himself in the best position possible if he gets past here. He's only a couple of tenths away from it, as is Leon from Alper. Look at this in the final corner. Right on the back of him. DRS down towards turn 1. 15 lap versus 18 lap Old Sauce. The 15 lap Old Sauce much better as Leon takes the lead once again here in Singapore. And behind,
I mean, he made it look easy, didn't he?
He did.
He made it look easy.
It looked like Alper's tires maybe hitting the cliff. Is that an indication maybe of how far them tires are going to go? And that could be a worry for Michael, medium pilot, and all them lot.
No. I think what happened here is simply that Leon is just faster. I mean, you've seen Leon catch up to Alper in the last couple of laps anyway. He closed a 6-second gap. You don't do that within 1 lap or 2. He did that steadily. So he showed he was faster anyway, and I'm not so sure that Alper's tires have hit a cliff, more that he just seems to be slower. He doesn't have the race pace of Leon. That's what it looks like to me. And so
Oh.
Leon takes
Was that the
his
wall?
rightful place, if you will.
I don't know if Alfred just hit the wall there. He was certainly quite deep into the hairpin. But yeah, I think he was okay. But yeah, maybe.
I'm looking at Michael, Medium Pilot, and Ollie right now. This group of three here that still stays together, interestingly enough. So Michael cannot pull away just yet
Well, he's closing
from
though.
Medium Pilot and
Still
Ollie.
closing. On the guys ahead, he's closing quite quickly on Alpha. I wonder if Alpha did get some front wing damage. Look at that. He's
Alpha's
getting a
coming into the pits now.
He's getting a second in that sector.
Alpha's coming into the pits.
Yeah, his tires must be gone. Look at him. Oh dear, I got a rev glitch around this game. Come on.
Yeah, same. It's horrible to listen to. Meanwhile, Michael now in second place, and maybe, as you said before, maybe in the net. I think at this point, considering that Michael is gaining on Leon, Leon had 7.5 seconds to Medium Pilot, who was in like just behind him at that time. Now the gap is down to 6.5 because Michael has been closing in on Leon a second already. Even if Leon takes this to the end, he's not going to win unless Michael crashes out. And even then, there might still be Ollie, who just overtook Medium Pilot
Yeah,
at the end of Raffles Boulevard into turn 7.
Pretty easy move. He had the pace. Medium Pilot is starting to fall a little bit backwards.
Yeah, I'm looking at the wing right now from Medium Pilot. Maybe he has some damage, but the right side looked good, and the left side as well. Again, that's the good thing about the Toro Rosso. The end plates are red, whereas most of the car is dark blue, so it really stands out. And both of these end plates are fully intact, and the end plates are always the first thing that goes off if there is some damage, like earlier than the winglets. The winglets are the next thing, and then it goes gradually worse from there until the whole front wing is gone, or the whole side of the front wing is gone, or the whole thing at the extreme.
So, as it stands then, Michael will easily be taking this championship today. He's got 11 laps
Don't
to go.
jinx him. Don't jinx him.
With Leon on a strategy that maybe isn't looking amazing as this race gets further on, he's gonna fall really far down. I mean, look where Alper is. Alper's down there in 10th place. He wasn't too far behind.
Sorry, but I do disagree here. The strategy of Leon looks pretty good to me. You have to exclude Michael because he's just an alien. Let's face it. The guy won, what, 10 out of the 12 races he started this season. Let's exclude him. Let's exclude him. Oh, Alper's strategy really, yeah.
It's the same, basically, though.
Sorry.
Like, he's 25 seconds off the lead. I don't see Leon, it'll be maybe 20 seconds off, maybe less.
Maybe Leon can take those softs to the end. I still think he might be able to.
It's his only option, isn't it?
It really seems like the only option now, but he's not losing too much time, in fact. He's gaining on Ollie as well. He's now up to 8.3 seconds, 8.4 on Ollie, and he was at 6 seconds on Medium Pilot. That is incredible. If we exclude Michael from this, Leon is still gaining time on Ollie, even though his tires are 6 laps older. That is unbelievable. That is great driving from Leon. And even Michael isn't catching up too much. Leon with a very, very good drive so far here. I'm going to compare the lap times as soon as Michael comes across the line. I'm going to go into the race director and see what they're doing. Leon's lap time, last lap time, was a 140.331. Michael, 39.6. That's 7 tenths. 7 tenths. Ollie, 40.0. 3 tenths. That's nothing. On 6 laps, fresher tires, gaining 3 tenths is nothing. Medium Pilot, 40.2. That's half a tenth.
One gone. Alpha in the wall somewhere.
Oh, that is unfortunate. We're down to 10.
So, do you know what? We've got to consider it. We've got to consider it. 2 more retirements now. We've got 10 laps, 2 more retirements, and then Michael only has to go 90% of the race to take the title.
Yes. So Michael needs to complete lap 28. If he completes lap 20, and this is very, very fortunate for him on other tracks. For example, if this track was a little longer and we only did 29 laps instead of 31, like for example in Bahrain or Australia where we did 29 laps, you would have to go you would only get 2 laps off at the end. Because you need to complete 90% and then the full lap. So that is pretty tough. Here 31 is actually very, very fortunate because, well, 3.1 you could go down, take that to 3, whereas 29 you would have to take that down 2.9 to 2. You can't round up there. So you have to go to 2, so only 2 laps less. Here you can go 3 laps less. So he only needs to make it to lap 28 if 2 more drivers retire from the race, and he would be champion.
So, I mean, the gap is 4.7 seconds at the moment. As this race gets further on, I mean, Michael, do you reckon he'll catch? He's not closing massively.
I think he will get close. I'm actually not too sure that he will overtake, but it's gonna be a... I think it might go to the wire. It might go down to the wire.
This could be a
lap
very
23 now, 8.5 laps to go. He would have to gain about, I think, just over half a second. Yeah, just over half a second, 6/10 per lap, pretty much.
Well, he's doing that at the moment. He's gained 4/10 since I sort of brought this up, and that's only been in about one sort of sector's worth of time. We'll see what it's like at the end.
I'm looking right now. Michael's last lap was only a 140.1, whereas Leon's, okay, he also lost a little bit, 140.5. So that's 4/10. That wouldn't be enough.
No, at the minute, no.
Be enough.
So this could, like you say, go down to the wire, and what a fitting way that would be to win the title. Imagine that, taking it on the last lap. It could well be how he does it. Because the second
he doesn't
gets...
have to take first place.
Well, he doesn't.
He doesn't have to take first place.
This is Michael. Of course, he's going to want to. But
True,
remember your stat
true.
from earlier, though. Remember in your stat now that he hasn't actually won in Asia yet. So
yeah.
Maybe not. But there you go. He's gaining another 5/10 then. Maybe give or take a 10th or 2. But
I'm gonna look.
the second he gets towards DRS, though, second he gets DRS, you got to remember that one. He'll gain more. And now he's under the 4 seconds.
Wow. He gained 7.5 tenths.
Well then, that's gonna make it interesting, isn't it?
The thing is, Leon posted his best lap time since. Hold on, his best lap time since he went on to this. His best lap time of his second best lap time of the race.
Right then,
he had one lap on the Hypersofts that was a 39.7, and he just did a 140.2. With how old are these now?
20
laps.
These guys
old
are
soft tires.
They're pushing
what
to the limits.
hell is Leon doing? This is unbelievable.
They are pushing to the absolute limit. And Michael was still 7/10 quicker, only on 5 lap younger tires. Yeah. These guys are pushing to the absolute limit here. This is going to be fun.
They are almost 4 seconds apart, but don't let that fool you. They are fighting right now, and they are posting lap times that are just extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary.
Medium power, well, not medium power, but Ollie isn't necessarily that much either. I mean, he's 4.3 back.
Yeah, but Ollie would have to gain a lot more. We are now entering lap 25, so 7 laps to go. 24 laps done, 7 to go. He would have to gain over a second a lap now. He's 8 seconds behind, 7.8. He would have to gain over a second a lap. I don't see that happening. Unless Leon's tires really hit a cliff and just go off completely. Which it doesn't look like it. Another 140.2. He just posted his second and third best lap times of the race.
And Michael's still nearly a second quicker on that last lap. He's now nearly under 2 seconds, and Zach's been spun around in turn 1. Fight with Jogler. So he falls down into P9 as a result of that. And then gets let back through. So, yeah, up into P8 again. And then, yeah, they're having a
Leon
fight.
Leon isn't going to come into the pits. I'm calling it right now. He's not going to come into the pits.
No
The lap times are so consistent. The last 6 laps, between his best and his worst lap time, 3/10 difference. That's how. Oh no, sorry. He had a 141.3. The last 5 laps, 3/10 difference between his best and his worst lap time in the last 5 laps. That is how consistent he is. That is absolutely extraordinary.
So then the gap, 2.9 seconds. The top 2 in the championship are going to take it to the last few laps here as Michael closes in on a championship once again in the ERL in Season 5. And this is surely the earliest.
Can I just say one more thing that I just realized by looking at the race director once again? Leon, on this track, Singapore, does not have a single warning. Not even Michael has 2 warnings. He doesn't have a penalty, but he has 2 warnings. Leon, 0. Absolutely 0. Ollie has a penalty and then 2 warnings. Medium Pilot has 2 warnings, no penalty. Shadow has a warning. Francis, oh wow. Francis has 3 penalties and 2 warnings. Lakitu has 3 penalties and 2 warnings. Zach has a penalty and 2 warnings. That's just incredible what Leon is doing here. He might not win it, but I'm going to tell you right now, if he stays in 2nd place, he's the driver of the day for me already. I'm calling it. Even if Michael wins.
Joglar is really trying this now on Zach. I think he might have hit him. I cut off at the worst point, to be honest. But yeah, they're having a fight. Still, just how many titles has Michael won so far? Is it 2, isn't it? Or is it just 1?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think 2.
So today would be a 3rd title, and that's pretty incredible, to be honest. In 5 seasons to take 3 out of the 5. That is, if there's any sign of dominance, it's that, you know.
To be fair, he's in the right car. He's got the right name for it. Think he's starting a dynasty here. Maybe 5 in a row soon.
That could be something.
7 overall.
That would be something special. But then again, we'd have to be here a few more games to see that one happen.
Indeed, indeed.
Oh,
the gap now down to under 3 seconds.
Oh, Francis
Leon
spinning off, and that's a really weird one as well. On the exit of turn 1, he just got wide and then spun off. So I wonder if
and by the way, Leon
wear is starting to get a bit difficult for these guys.
Are you kidding me? Leon got his first warning, but he also posted his another best lap time on the stint.
Oh, and then Francis
in the last lap. 140.
After.
A 140 by Leon, dead. 140.000. You couldn't have timed it better. And he even gained a 10th on Michael. He gained a 10th on Michael. What is happening right now?
You know, I've got to make this point now. We've got 9 people left. 1 more retirement, and Michael will be the world champion in 1 lap's time.
Well, except if Michael is the retirement.
Oh, of course, yes, but
that would hurt his chances of wrapping up the title right here. But well, 1 more retirement that is not Michael, and he has to make it to the end of lap 28. So he has to finish this lap, which I mean he's very close now, final corner, and he has to finish this lap that he just started. If he finishes this lap and doesn't retire, and someone else retires before him, he's got the title. But someone else would have to retire before him. Otherwise, he would only get 2 points.
Yes.
And that would not be enough. He needs 4 to secure the... Well, he needs 3, but you can't get 3. Yes. So he would need 8th place to get 4 points.
Do you know what? Joglar, Michael's teammate, is sliding like he's on an ice rink again. Just like at the end of the first stint. If anyone's going to be that retirement, it's him. You know what could
happen? Imagine Michael crashes, I don't know, in the Singapore Sling right now. Oh wait, no, he can't right now. He needs to finish this lap. Okay, in the
Yeah.
Singapore Sling next lap, Joglar sees Michael has retired from the session, and then Joglar retires before getting to the spot where Michael retired. So Michael would still be 8th, he would still get 4 points, and he would still win the title. Simply because his teammate basically sacrifices himself for Michael's title.
Joglar really is sliding, and this much sliding is going to be ruining his rear tires. They're going to be piping hot. And he's still trying to pass Zach at the same time. That's a recipe for disaster if I've ever seen one.
Can I just interject once more? I'm sorry, but Michael has not gained a single 10th on Leon in the last lap.
Yeah.
The gap has stayed at 2.9, 2.8. It doesn't come down, and it's 3 laps to go. Now Michael needs to gain pretty much a second a lap. Leon is going to win this.
So
Leon might actually win this. However, Leon now is on 2 warnings as well. He just picked up 2, one in lap 26, one in lap 28. So he has to make sure he doesn't get a penalty. However, again, Michael also on 2 warnings. So they both need to be clean from here on out. If we see any pop-up in the bottom left, that's going to be the end for either of them. If they both get one, they would still race it out.
Final attempt before his tires maybe go past. Oh, they've hit! They've hit in Zach's round again in turn 1. That's exactly what happened beforehand. Probably through contact the first time round. I didn't see exactly if it was contact first time round, but certainly.
Yeah, there was a little bit of contact, yeah.
But certainly this time.
I saw that, yeah.
Certainly this time there was contact.
Yeah.
So Joglar continues then. Zach, 4.3 behind. He's not going to catch that back up. So that is an unfortunate way to end that battle. But it does mean we can now focus on Michael. He's come from 12th up to 2nd. He's got just 2 more laps to go. And he sees this 3rd World Championship coming his way as it stands. But he's not going to win.
It certainly seems so.
He's going to continue that stat that he hasn't won in Asia. That weird stat that someone so dominant.
However, last lap he gained 8 tenths.
Oh, could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Not enough yet, but he might get DRS on the final lap if he's fortunate.
Let's see. Is Leon starting to feel the effects of that tire wear yet? I mean, 26 laps. You'd think maybe he would have started to feel a little bit. Leon's on 2 warnings, I think, at the moment. Yeah,
both are on 2 warnings. I mean, so if we see a pop-up in the bottom left, that will be their first penalty for whatever name pops up there, Leon or Michael. For others, obviously not. But for those 2, it would be their first warning, and obviously 3-second time penalty, which means they will most likely lose their position or they will not win, and they will get 2nd place. If both get it, they'll race it out on track again. Doesn't matter anymore. But if only one gets it, then we are talking about the other being the winner.
Yeah. So, I mean...
And Michael!
There you go then.
Michael just got himself that 3-second penalty. Oh my. Yeah, so that's most likely going to put an end to him being winning a race in Asia, hoping to win a race in Asia. Plus, he didn't gain that much on this lap anyway. He's at still 1.9 seconds, and he would have to be at around 1.1 here as he comes across the line. He's still at 1.9, so he didn't gain enough.
So Leon
and unless Leon makes a mistake, he will win. And unless Michael makes a mistake, he will win the championship.
I mean, Leon's been pretty dominant so far, hasn't he? Like, I don't see him losing it now. The gap is only 1.7 seconds. But Leon, you have to give it to him. He has done everything he could possibly have done today to try and continue this championship fight. And it'll bode well for him next season. He is finally showing that pace, which is, good enough to beat Michael. Today, he is going to beat him on merit. He hasn't got a penalty. He has been brilliant with the strategy and keeping the tyres and he's going to get the victory. But unfortunately for him, all the attention is going to be on this man. Michael has only got, this time in a minute, he will be the champion of Season 5. As we've just entered the third, the last third of the season. Round 15 out of 21. And he's going to do it.
Yeah, with 6 races still left, we already have our ERL F1 Drivers' Champion. Would you believe it? VGIA Michael coming through the final corners, the whole complex, 18, 19, then 4 more corners left, 20 right here, the right-hander, 21 the left, and then 2 more corners, which are basically driven as one, but they are 2 corners. As Michael comes through 22 and 23, Leon has won the race, but even more important, VGIA Michael has won the European Racing League F1 Drivers' Championship.
And pretty convincingly as well. 6 races still to go.
298 points. He didn't get the 300 yet. 298 points. He will get to 400 most likely.
Probably will, yeah.
But only for the 3rd time this season, VGIA Michael has not won the race when he started.
Yeah. But still, for
the 3rd time in Asia. I'm excited for the next 2 races because they will be Russia, could consider that Asia, and Japan. You will definitely consider that to be Asia, and the final race in Abu Dhabi as well. So we still got 3 races where Michael needs to redeem himself and at least get 1 win. Come on, there's still 3 races left. Russia, I would count Russia, okay? I'm very generous here. I would count Russia. Sochi is like on the verge of Europe and Asia, kind of like Azerbaijan, but I would count it. Japan and Abu Dhabi, definitely 2 races, but a championship win for VGIA Michael, 298 points. But as I said before, the driver of the day to me, even though Michael came from 12th to 2nd, was the guy who started on pole and won, AZR Leon. Why? I mean, 1, the dominance, 2, the strategy. Making the soft tires last 28 laps on this track is an astonishing feat, and even more so when you do that and win the race. So, AZR Leon, congratulations. That was a hell of a ride, and his 2nd fastest lap came at lap 26. That was 23 laps into the stint. With 23 lap old soft compound tires, he set his 2nd fastest lap of the race. That is just absolutely incredible. And his tires never fell off. Even at the end, his last lap was 140.7, only 7.5 tenths slower than his fastest lap in that stint. The consistency of AZR Leon is something I think every driver should strive for, and it's definitely something to try to emulate going forward. So congratulations to Leon, the other drivers here. VGI Michael in 2nd, Ollie 3rd. I'll try to get a screenshot. I think I got one. It's always tough on PlayStation because you only get 30 seconds. But I think I got a screenshot.
Yeah, I'll complete the top.
Let me
I'll
check.
complete the top 10 for
yes,
you.
yes, I got one.
Right.
It's loading. There you go. Okay, so AZR Leon takes the victory, 25 points. He is now at 133. He puts himself in a very good position to get that 2nd place in the championship. I mean, 1st is gone. Congratulations to Michael, who scored himself 18 points, 298 on the season, and his 12th podium. TTG Ollie in 3rd. For him, that's going to be 15 points, and his best result of the season by far. In fact, so far, that previously, to this point, he only had 14 points. So he scored more points today than he scored in the last 7 races that he competed in. He only competed in, he's joined in France. So he's a little bit down in terms of overall points, obviously. But he just doubled his point count to 29 now. ILR Shadow in 4th. For him, where is he? Oh, there he is. Okay, sorry. For him, that's his second best result, 12 points. He had a third in France when Michael wasn't there. It's always the kind of story. And he jumps. No, he doesn't jump medium pilot. He almost did, but medium pilot got 5th, so 10 points for him. And his only, actually, that's his worst result when he finished. He got 2 second places, a 3rd and a 4th, and a DNF so far this season. And now a 5th. That's his worst result. Would you believe that? Medium pilot needs to come back next season as a
full-time driver.
Full-time driver. Reserve is not enough. He is that good. Every time he drives and finishes, he finishes inside the top 5. 5 out of 5 races that he finished, he did so. Lakitu in 6th. He does lose some ground to Leon, obviously. He had a gap of 17 points. That opens up now, and it doubles, in fact, to 34 that he is behind Leon. However, he does jump Matt, who he was only 1 point behind. He jumps him now, gets up to 99. Zach in 7th gets to 105. So the way the race for second place now shapes up. Leon 133, Zach 105. So that's a 28-point gap. It's pretty significant. Lakitu 99, Matt 92. So it's all very, very close. Leon starts to run away with it a little, but it's still 6 races left. So there's a lot that can happen there. Leon put himself in a prime position. And Cliffy, hold on. Cliffy, since he did not finish, stays at 88. And Janu, since he also didn't finish, stays at 85. So they're also pretty close still in that whole race. But that has been the Singapore Grand Prix. What a race it was, and we crowned a champion. Yes. We will be back next week for the Russian Grand Prix at Sochi. Same time as always, 6 p.m. UK time. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Austin Smith.
And I've been Owen Wyatt, and thank you all for watching, and congratulations to Michael. And as Austin said, we'll be back next week for the Russian Grand Prix. Hope you all join us then, and safe travels.